Good morning. We just noticed that the clock is wrong, so we're going to get started. We have a lot on our agenda today, and thank you all for coming. It's a really important election, and we are so lucky that we have two people running for each opening. We all know when you've got one choice, you've got one choice, but we are really fortunate to have three choices for one district and two for the others. The format today is Judy Anna's timings, and she's one of the four forum facilitators, and Phoebe is going to be running the computer. She's a second forum facilitator. I'm Kathy Heavers, I'm the third, and Barbara Bynum is the fourth. We plan the programs every single Wednesday morning now from 9 to 10 a.m. And if you have any suggestions for programs, we're always open for suggestions. We appreciate that. If you're not on our email list, we have cards. See me or one of the other facilitators after the program. We'll get you on our email list. We have over 550 people right now on the list. If you like the program, you come. If you don't like it, no big deal. At least you know. So without going any further, I guess I should recognize I see that Carrie, would you stand up? Our superintendent of schools, Carrie Stevenson, is here. Any other board members? Would you please stand and be recognized? So thank you for coming. And I'm going to turn the program over to Mikayla, who will kind of give you an explanation of how the elections run, what districts are when. So Mikayla, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Can everyone hear me all right? Yes. Wonderful. Well, before we get started today with our forum, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the election process, taking a look at what school board elections are like in Colorado generally, but also specifically here in the Montrose County School District. So to get started, let's take a look at how school boards are structured. In our school district, we have a 7-member board of education. And in the state of Colorado, school boards are tasked with setting district policy and determining how the district operates under those policies. So kind of important to understand that scope of work there. Each of the board members that is elected to serve a 4-year term. And out of that 7, there's one representative that's elected from each of 7 director districts within the school district. So that term just refers to the geographic boundaries. We've divided the school district up into 7 different geographic boundaries and make sure that we have representation from each of those groups. Those groups in Montrose are labeled as A through G. You'll see some school districts that use a numbering system or something else, but we've used a lettering system for quite some time. One of my favorite tools I like to point out is the City of Montrose's GIS mapping tool. This is a great feature on their website, and there is a link on the Montrose County School District website as well. But if you use that link, you can see all of the district boundaries, so the full school district boundary, but also get a sense of which director district you live in. So great tool I'd recommend checking out. Next, let's just take a look at how school board elections work generally. So in the state of Colorado, we have biannual school board elections, which means that they're every 2 years, and they do occur during odd-numbered years. So in Montrose, that means that we have half of our board up for election every 2 years, and that means we have 3 seats or 4 seats up at a time. This year, we do have 4 seats that are open on the ballot. One of the things I do like to just note for everyone, since it is a little different than some of our elections, school board elections are nonpartisan in Colorado. So that means that folks purely just run on what their platform is. Their party affiliation is not listed on the ballot, and the school board itself is a nonpartisan institution. And one of the most important things I like to note for folks, since it is confusing, is that all folks who live within the Montrose County School District boundaries are eligible to cast a vote for every open seat on the ballot. So this year, that means you can cast 4 total votes, 1 for each open seat. And it doesn't matter which of those director districts you live in. This year on the ballot, as I mentioned, we've got those 4 districts up, and that is District A, District C, District E, and District G. And this is a little bit tricky to see here, but I wanted to give you a look at what that GIS mapping tool looks like. This is also on the school district website, but kind of gives you a sense of the breakdown. It's quite exaggerated, but that gold star is roughly where we're located right now. So if we look down here on the breakdown of the downtown area, we're kind of down here. Hopefully that helps orient you a little bit to where those districts that are up for election are located. But again, I would certainly recommend taking a look at that on our website. And finally, just an introduction to who we have running this year. So in District A, we have Neisha Balleck and Darren Sofka. In District C, we have Alice Murphy and Scott Scarborough. In District E, we have Chris Bessler, Holly Mundell, and Tiffany Vincent. And in District G, we have Jessica Corrigan and Shane Daly. And once you learn more about those candidates today, I did also want to flag that we have bios of each candidate available on the school district website, along with some more really helpful information about that election process. So again, I highly recommend checking out mcsd.org/board elections for more information. Now, I know we weren't doing questions today, but I reserved a couple minutes just to make sure everyone's comfortable with that process. So does anyone have questions about the director district structure or anything like that? All right, well with that, I will turn it over here to Neisha to get us started.
Hi, I'm Neisha Balleck, and I usually get to go first because of my last name. It always happened in school, so. Or I'd go last depending on the teacher. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I am a wife, a mom. I have an 18-year-old just graduated from Montrose High School. He's currently going to CMU in the business and pursuing business. I have a 15-year-old sophomore girl that is going to Montrose High School, and I have a 9-year-old in private school. I've been a nurse for over 20 years, worked with professionals, been a professional, and I'm one of the current Montrose County School Board members. When I was thinking about this process, I was thinking, you know, what does a school board member leader look like? And a school board member leader looks like somebody who asks questions, isn't afraid to go against the grain, isn't afraid to have hard conversations, but with those hard conversations, do it with dignity and respect for everyone, and to pursue transparency and to listen to all sides. As I've been serving for the last 2 years, I've been super proud of our district. I was really concerned with just the parent communication, and currently our Montrose County School Board and District is doing something called Talking Points, which eliminates multiple apps, and so it increases transparency among teachers and parents and students. It's direct communication. It's increasing contact with our Hispanic population. We are also doing family engagement, coordinated efforts in multiple schools. And so I'm just so excited to increase the engagement, because when we increase engagement with our students, parents, and teachers, academics increase, and studies have proven that. Early on, when I was seated, parents came to me with concerns about their kids being disciplined and then going to adult court and having trauma from that. What I saw was, and what they shared with me, is that their kids went from thriving to struggling. And with pushback, there was pushback, but I pushed for the prioritizing of reviewing discipline policies. And in turn, what we ended up having is a vital memorandum of understanding with our school resource officers and the pursuit of bringing back teen court. So I'm super proud of our district for doing that and being transparent and looking at what these students need with law enforcement, because we just value our law enforcement relationships so much. Also, I know the CMAS scores just came out and they're still low, but they did increase a little bit, and I'm talking about like the 3rd grade to 8th grade. So I'm glad that we're increasing, and I expect us to keep increasing. I supported teacher increases in pay to be competitive in this area, and I also supported this year's raise actually But I still wanted to pursue talking to teachers and asking what they need, because pay is important, but what else do you need to be supported? Because when teachers and students succeed, they're succeeding together. And so I've been asking the teachers, what is it that you think that you need to help our students thrive? And they've been sharing with me, smaller class sizes. They've been sharing decreased discipline, decreased distractions. And with that, they were discussing about maybe relooking at the dress code policy. They've also talked about help with English language learners, also help with discipline and behaviors. They've even discussed having internal mentors. They talked about we get outside consultants, but it would be nice if we utilize people, teachers specifically, that know what's been happening, know how to do the proficiency scales, and have been thriving to help maybe other teachers that are struggling. Also increasing professional development. So I keep listening, I'm advocating, I'm listening to the parents, teachers, and students. I'm a voice in the boardroom and outside the boardroom. I am transparent, and I do want to hear all sides, and I'm going to continue to be a student-focused leader, and I'm going to continue to serve our community if you would be willing to vote me back in, and I would be honored to serve for the next 4 years. So I just really thank you all for being here. Thank you for doing your research on the candidates. You have a lot of great opportunities and great candidates to choose from. And this year's going to be great, and I'm excited for the dynamics of the board to change, because there's always fresh ideas and new diversity of thought and different things that we get to look at when we have fresh faces in the boardroom. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting our community's greatest asset, our most vulnerable, our students. Please vote for me. My name is Neisha Balleck.
Good morning. My name is Darren Sofka. I'm gonna envision you all as my high school class, so to make it a little bit easier on myself, just so you know. First of all, I'm honored to be here. I appreciate the forum for having us and hosting this event. Thank you to everyone for showing up and being here to listen and support our conversation about our school board, which is an extremely important conversation. And again, I want to thank the other candidates for the time and the effort that they put in for running for school board as well. I know it's not a simple thing. My reason for running, it more comes from the stem of my career. I know I believe in our kids and our teachers and our community, and I've been in the trenches with the teachers firsthand, and I know the hard work and the effort that they put in. My wife and I have lived in Olathe, which is the district that, of course, we're running in, District A. We've been here for over 30 years. We both got hired in 1994 and taught at the middle school, and my wife is still teaching at this point. I decided to step down about 1.5 years ago, and now I can pursue some other things such as this. Again, we started our career here. We raised our family in Olathe. 2 kids have gone through our Olathe schools. They are currently building and working on their careers on the Western Slope as well. And as parents, we couldn't be more proud of what they've done and what they're going to do. Who knows what that might be. My career started in middle school. As I mentioned, I taught 8th grade. I don't know if you've ever been around 8th graders very long, but I might just leave it at that. 8th graders are a chore sometimes, but at the same time, I found it very encouraging to see that moment when they would figure some things out. It's nice to get that aha moment as a teacher, and I think that's why we do what we do in the classroom. We know the challenges. I taught 9 years in the middle school math classroom. I knew I always wanted to get to the high school level, so I had an opportunity to do that. So I spent a couple years there before I pursued a couple years in assistant principal. But I knew that I really wanted to be in the classroom. My passion was in the classroom and coaching. And as an assistant principal, I wasn't quite able to do those types of things. So I returned back to the classroom where I felt like I could make more of an impact. Over the years, I taught various grade levels and different math classes. And the last 3 years, I had the opportunity to serve as the athletic director at Olathe Middle High School, where I could support the athletics as well as the academics. Coaching has always been a big part of who I am. One reason that I got into the education world. And it's a chance for us to continue teaching, but also to teach some different life skills, discipline, teamwork, confidence, resilience. All those types of things are super important on the athletic fields as well as in the classroom. I was also fortunate to coach basketball at the middle school and high school levels, and baseball, which was a huge passion of mine as well. My wife, as I mentioned, is also a teacher and currently still teaching. She's at the elementary school now. She taught in the middle school to begin, and now is working with our ELL students at Olathe Elementary. So we've spent our entire career, raised our kids all in Olathe, which I'm super proud of, and glad to be a part of that community, and want to continue to give back a little bit, and this is one way that I can do that. Now, all of that is kind of my career, but it's also the reason why I'm running for school board. I'm a lifelong educator, and I'm passionate about kids. It's super important to me, and I always try to work on what's best for kids, and I thought that was important. I didn't always have the right answers or maybe the answers, but I worked hard to try to get to that. I feel like when we do ask that question and we ask it honestly, we make good decisions about the future and what we can do to help. I think we want a school board that listens and collaborates and keeps the kids at the center of every decision. So I bring some experience. I know the work that goes into being in the classroom, and I know it's hard, and I know it's challenging, and I know that the time that they put in, and I want to do whatever I can to help that out. It's not about me. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the community and for our kids, and to give back again, like I said. Every child deserves to be successful, and we need to do what we can to help that out. We want to build a strong school district that reflects our core values, and that's hard work and community. And thank you very much.
Okay, gotta go right here. I am Alice Murphy, and I am an incumbent. I've served on the school board. I was elected in 2021, and I've been on the school board for 4 years now. And I have to say that I really enjoyed that experience most of the time. It's nice to be here at the forum. This is where I usually hang out on a Wednesday morning, learn a lot of things, a lot of topics that come up. And I would like to thank Judy Ann and Kathy Heathers and Phoebe Benzinger and the one that's not here, Barbara Bynum. Yeah, they do a great job putting together the program so that I learn something every week. And I hope to see all of you back next week. So thank you to the forum people for inviting us here. I'll start out with my bio. I grew up in Honeyville, Utah, and I am a wife. I married Dennis in 1978, and then we moved here to Montrose, so that's 47 years. He was a hydrologist. He got hired by the BLM here, and then I came down, and I was hired a day and a half before school started that year. I got it together, and I started at Olathe Elementary. I taught second grade that year. Also have taught kindergarten through third grade, And then I had about 13 years teaching English language learners with Darren's wife was part of that. And then after I retired from, well, I only was there at Idle Lake Elementary. I'll tell you some of the things I worked on. I was on the building leadership team. I was also on the RIT team, which is a response to intervention team, where we worked with, when students had difficulties in school, we would talk about them, and we usually invited parents to those. So I know that was a concern of some people. And we come up with strategies on how we can help those kids that are struggling in school. That was the response to intervention team. I was also a trainer of trainers. Principal came to me and said, hey, you want to go Arizona and learn something? And I said, sure, that sounds good. And it was how to do step up to writing, and then the 6 traits of writing. And my task is to be a trainer of trainers and come back and teach my staff how to do the writing program that they had. What else did I was in the cohort when they were adopting CMAS. I was in that very first group of teachers that piloted that program, and then the following year we adopted the CMAS after that. So I really know the CMAS and know how teachers, when they get that score, it's not just that composite score that people are talking about. It's diving into growth that the child has made. It's diving into the data to see what are the skills that they know, what are the skills that they need to work on, and then they come up with the universal improvement plan for the school, that the strategies and learning things that they need in order to improve those. So there's a lot to that CMAS score than just one score that people talk about. That's how after I retired, I thought, oh, gee, I really like working with people and kids, and so I volunteered for CASA. And I have my friend over here who's also a CASA volunteer, and it's helping kids in the 7th Judicial District kind of get through the court systems if they're in foster care, and very rewarding. And then I had a family that I thought wasn't quite ready to break that tie with them, and so I followed them to the Partners Program, which is another mentoring program for kids. And so I kind of like hanging out with kids and helping them. So that's what I did there. I also like teaching, so I kind of picked up yoga and Zumba at Gold's Gym and the Yoga House, and I'm just an educator. I just keep learning all the time. I haven't seen my time. Okay. Let me talk about some of the strengths of the district, because we have many. I'm going to start out with the teachers and the people that work for the district. They are the strength of the district. They're the ones that, they're in the classroom, they're working really hard, they're coming up with the lesson plans and the strategies that they need. Oh, no. Okay. So teachers are the main thing. We also have a career pathways program in which kids are learning a pathway that they can choose the courses that they take in order to, I wish it was there for my girl, because she would have wanted the construction management part of it, but great program. There's that. Marzano, the mastering learning with teaching proficiencies, gives teachers, parents, students, lets them know what they have to learn in the classroom and what level they are in there. It's not really a grading system, but it's more of a way of informing parents of how their kid is doing in school. I bet you're going to do it. Give me 6 minutes. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Hope y'all are started out on a good day.
Microphone.
Here we go. I got to learn how to do this. My name is Scott Scarborough. I know some of you I don't know. District C is the district that I'm running for, Board of Directors. This story of why I'm here maybe starts back in 1988 when we moved here to Montrose with my wife and 3 daughters. And in the process, we had to get the girls in school. And so we did, and then I became, at that time, interested to see what the school district and the board of directors were doing with kids in school. So I attended a few of the meetings, and what I saw was the management, if you will, the superintendent and so forth, wanted to do things, but they couldn't do things because they were hamstrung with funding and other people's direction. So it was kind of a tough deal. More than once I heard the comment, oh, this is really a great program, wish we could do it, but gosh, the state won't let us do it. Or we don't have the money to do it. And that was kind of a recurring theme. So, well, after a fashion, I didn't get on the board. We got wrapped up in family and trying to make a living here in Montrose. But that still permeates, I think, the school district. A little bit about myself. Again, we moved here 1988. We've been here 30-some years, 35 years. All my 4 girls, we have another girl after we moved here. They went through the system, all graduated. And a lot of experience with that. 4 girls in school at the same time was interesting. So I had a lot of interaction with the school, kind of knew what was going on. Anyway, I'm an honorably discharged veteran. I've been in business here in Montrose the whole time we've been here, 35 years in the real estate business. It got to the point here lately that I had to do something. I mean, what we're doing now and what's happening in the schools, if you look across the United States, you see some things happening that can't be good. And so after a fashion, I says, you know, things are happening, they're not good for our kids, especially our kids. I gotta do something. So that's a major reason I'm up here today, is to ask for your vote and getting me in on the board of directors. And we can make sure that these things I call them, but they're the parental rights is a big issue. Teaching ancillary stuff in school that doesn't need to be taught. Staying with a classical education, folks. This is what we want to try to do. So we have all these outside influences coming into us. And I don't think they're happening here in Montrose, but we sure don't want them to happen. So I'm here saying, okay, wait a minute. Let me get on the board of directors. Let's watch what's going on and make sure it doesn't happen. Work with the rest of the people. Everybody from the kids, the superintendent, the principals. Work together as a team, because one person can't do this. One board member can't do it. 2 board members can't. We need everybody that's involved in this to work together as a team, to source out what the best possible way to educate our kids is, and do it, and follow through. Stay on it. We had a goal, well, the CMAS scores, that's another issue. They're running anywhere from 30 to 50%. My question was, well, why isn't it 100%? We should not stop till it's 100%. And, you know, this is our job to do this, to make sure that every kid gets a good education, no matter what it takes. This is not an easy thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take a lot of work together, teamwork-wise, to make this happen. I want this school district to be the shining star on the mountain, where other school districts look to Montrose and say, wow, they really got their act together. So these goals I have, I hope I can get on board. I hope I can work together with everybody else on the board to really make this a first-class operation. Again, my name is Scott Scarborough, District C. I'd appreciate your vote, appreciate your help. Thanks.
All right, can you guys hear me? I apologize, my voice is gone. So please bear with me. Can my time start now? All right, so thank you everybody for coming. My name is Chris Bessler, and I am a mom of 4. So I have a kindergartner, I have a 2nd grader, I have a 3rd grader, and I have a 5th grader, all at Johnson Elementary School. It is our golden year. Yes, drop-off is amazing. We just open the door and they all climb out. It's been a wonderful journey so far. I didn't set my sights on being a stay-at-home mom. I was actually a full-time professional, and when our oldest was born, he was born with some medical needs that forced me to stay home. We made the family decision. And after 4 kids, who can afford daycare, right? So I actually worked 14 years in hospitality, where I taught leadership and development, and I did a lot of corporate training. I have a degree in communications and a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree in diplomacy. And so when I became a stay-at-home mom, I dedicated my life to being in the schools and volunteering, working side by side with teachers, mostly because I needed to have some adult conversation, and also working with kids. I really needed to just be in the schools and being with my children. Because I will tell you, one thing that Montrose offers, a huge strength, is safety. When I drop off my kids every day, I know that they are safe. And I can tell you that I feel so comfortable and confident in knowing that they are protected, because I know that these teachers love our children and that they care for them just as much as my husband and I do. And I am confident in that. And I have stood by our teachers and knowing that they care for them. So I was a little shocked in seeing when Johnson Elementary School did launch their teaching and learning model, which some of you have heard about, some of you haven't, but it's very easy to find out about, that the parents weren't really involved in that communication from the very beginning. And so when I did go into the school board, I was also shocked to not know who these 7 people were. And so as a school board member and the parent committee are being part of the community, I did realize that there was this communication disconnect between parents and between the community and between our school board and our district. And so I think it's a great opportunity that we recognize this. And I see the district doing that. I am part of currently right now a steering committee that's been put in place that has brought in several members of our community. There's pediatricians on there, there's parents, there's teachers, there's community members. We're all getting together to talk about a strategic plan for the next 5 years, but it's also the accountability place that we need to recognize and bring that in. What are we gonna do with this information? How are we gonna educate the community? Because everybody cares. So when you think about this, just going to that next step, that next level, taking it and just taking it to the next, all of us bringing it. We have this, if you can imagine, we just have this round table. And if we can have all the key players in place, we have parents, community members, district members, school board members, and we have teachers, and we all make these decisions together, and we all talk about the things that matter. It doesn't matter, no politics, take the politics out. They don't belong in the school board. They don't belong in schools. It doesn't matter. We just all have to have some serious conversations, and we have to decide what's important for our kids, because that's the next generation. That's what we're all here for. So that's what I want to focus on. There's a lot of conflicts going on right now. There's a lot of big issues out there. But when it comes down to it, we have to remember that teachers know how to teach. Parents know their kids better than anybody. And we also have to know that the school board needs to educate our community, because community cares. I've had so many conversations. I spent 2 years thinking about what do I want to do as a school board director. And what I want to do is I want to talk to people because I want to listen. But I also want to not only get their input, but I I don't necessarily want to go in and flip the board upside down. What I want to do is I want to take their input, and I want to see, is it working? Are we asking the right questions? Are we taking parents' opinions? Are we taking community members who have businesses? Are we using our resources wisely? Are we actually making wise choices? Are we working together? These are questions that have to be asked, because if we're not asking the right questions, then it doesn't matter what we're doing. We're not going to be successful as a community. And I want to look good. I want to be progressive when it comes to pulling things up in the media or wherever. When it comes to that, I want Montrose to shine. I want to be proud of our community. I don't know about you, but when I look to where I want to live, I chose Montrose because I have a lot of community pride living here. That's what I look for in this in here. I can't do any more. I won't be able to.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see a packed room. I see all people knowing that this is an important election, even though it's not during a presidential election, but this is an important election. My name is Holly Mundell. I'm running for District Director for District E. I am a wife and a mom. I'm raising 2 young men. My oldest one is 20. He graduated in 2023. He was the first graduate as a Red Hawk, and I'm kind of proud about that. He also was part of the Career Opportunity Services program that is at the high school, and he's kind of a testament to the success that Career Opportunity Services program does provide. He is in a job that he transferred into the job after doing that program. My youngest one is a sophomore. He's in quite a few activities, so it is a season of being an Uber for my 15-year-old. He is involved in student council, so he is finding out how to deal with other individuals and learning how to coordinate and how to deal with different personalities. He's also in FFA, Future Farmers of America, which is a great program, and it's exciting to see the participation as far as the alumni and what they can do and what they get accomplished during the year and where they go. So that's kind of another some of the positive things that are coming out from our high school. The why I am running. I'm a dental hygienist. That's my profession. I have a few teachers, parents, parents, and students that come through my chair. And I have been actively listening to their concerns and what's going on in the schools. And Sarah Fishering is terming out, so I decided it's time for me to be part of the community even more as far as running for the school district here. What I want, not what I want, I just want, there's not really what I want, because I'm gonna be, if elected, I will be part of a group of 7, I'll be one of 7. And I want to actively listen there, I want to collaborate, and I want to learn as well. In the dental hygiene profession, we are continuing lifelong learners. There's a lot of different things that are coming up with our profession. As far as board experience as well, I am part of the Colorado Dental Hygienists Association. I started that 4 years ago, and at that time I was the only voice for the Western Slope. Now we have 3. And I was a big proponent in some of the things that were coming out with our proposed resolutions and proposed bylaws to speak out for the Western Slope. And that's what I want to continue to do here on the school board as well, if elected. Some of the strengths that we have for the Montrose School District, like I said, my son is part of the Career Opportunity Services program that they have, and so that's a big success for a lot of young children, young adults that are wanting to go into nursing, construction, healthcare field. Some other strengths, we have had some graduates that have gone to Harvard. And we've also had some graduates that have gone to some military academies, and that's really a big deal. That's no easy task to get into a military academy. Some of the things that I perceive of areas of improvement, like with anything, like even with life, we always look to see about bettering ourselves. Of course, some of the things that, that I've heard, a lot of the things is it's not in the budget. That's what is a continuous thing. It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. And I would like to see what can be in the budget, what can be as far as moving forward. The other areas of improvement is classroom sizes, of course, and getting the teachers the help that they really need inside the classroom. And I'll see what I can do in that regards. So what I'm here for is I want to be an active listener. I want to collaborate, and I want to learn at the same time. While I may not have school board experience, I do have board experience, and I do want to work for the community. I want to be more than just just a community member, but be in the community and help children succeed in what they're doing. I also want to help the teachers, and I'm not here, I don't have an agenda. That's one of my major things that I want to be able to work with everybody and see what we can do to make this community better, and for those children that are going off to college, that they come back and they make this community even stronger. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Tiffany Vincent. I'll tell you a little about myself. I am a wife of nearly 18 years to my husband, Chris. We have 2 boys, a 14-year-old and a 6-year-old. Since I graduated from CU Boulder with a degree in exercise physiology, I've been involved in working with children in many facets, starting with coaching and with early childhood education, and then moving into teaching in both public schools and private schools as a paraprofessional and also as a teacher. So for the last few years, I've taught in a private school for doing physical education, actually, so using my degree in that way, and teaching also middle school math, which was a fun time. As we talked about, 8th graders are a fun bunch. Ultimately, my passion is my kids, and that brings me to my why. I understand many families want to seek reassurance that the educators that we're partnering with for raising and educating our children and the administrators are actually partners with us and not working against us. We as parents want to work with the teachers. Many of us, at least. Can't force every parent to be involved, but most of us really want to be. So, with my personal why is my family had our own experiences with the school district that we're districted to with my oldest son. And so we had to make some sacrifices, including homeschooling and private schooling, to fit our family's needs. And it's not something that we took lightly to put him back into public school this year, because there was some issues with trust. But as I've talked to other parents who left the district schools for the same reasons I did, and teachers who also have left, I found that there were similar concerns that we all had, and also some new ones that got brought to my attention. And it made me say to myself, I work part-time, I have the time and I have the passion. I want to help this community be better. I want to help these people who are seeing the problems that I saw. I feel like I can be somebody in the community who makes a positive impact, and I'd love to do that. Some of the strengths I do see with Montrose County School District is the AP program. Your advanced placement students are excelling and doing amazing, and they're getting their dual credits, and I see that as such a strength here, and I want to keep that going. I see some really, really shining spots with these students. The union I see as a shining spot. The teachers I've talked to say they have a wonderful relationship with UVEA, and I very much appreciate that. From what I can see, Montrose County School District does really well with budgeting. And this year, the introduction of the Talking Points app, which has improved communication. As I've seen, like I said, my 14-year-old son did re-enter the school system this year. And shout out to Ms. Lulamon over at Centennial. She is an amazing communicator. I have received lots of talking points, curriculum updates, and things like that. But with that said, there are some communication gaps that I do see, and I'd like to make sure parents can stay involved with knowing what their children's curriculum, syllabus, books, what books they're reading, and if any mental or physical health problems arise, including advice, that they're not kept secret from parents, that it's always communicated to parents. Always school choice. I understand some board members weren't completely on board with Montrose Classical Academy. However, I see it as going to be a strength to this community. I think that socioeconomic status and districting should never determine whether a family can put their kids into a school that fits their values. And we have yet to have a school with a classical education. I do understand that as a parent of both an elementary and a middle school student, one in private school, one in public school, that there's a diverse need for different types of education, not just within the community, but sometimes within an individual family, like my own. And finally, I'd like to identify some effective strategies to improve student achievement. The next generation is soon entering the workforce, and they deserve to be equipped for the skills necessary for success. Always, not that we don't, but definitely refocusing the efforts on math, reading comprehension, and languages, and making sure political agendas, mine, yours, everybody's, stay out of the classroom. My name's Tiffany Vincent. I would be honored to have your vote. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the forum for hosting us. I'm Jessica Corrigan, and I'm running for the seat in District G. I'm running for the board because I believe deeply in the power of public education. I think it is the biggest investment we can make in children, not just locally, but statewide and nationwide as well. I'm a first-generation college graduate and a lifelong learner, and I have my educators and my public schools to thank for that. I'm committed to demanding transparency and accountability from our district while supporting teachers, staff, and families in providing the same opportunities to the children here in Montrose that I was lucky enough to have as a child. As a mental health therapist, I recognized the importance of public education really early. I received my bachelor's degree in psychology from Purdue University, my master's degree in social work from Indiana University, and I immediately started working as a school-based mental health therapist. My husband Patrick and I moved here 14 years ago so I could be the mental health therapist at the Northside Child Health Center. Since that time, my relationship with the district has grown, just as my own children have. I have 2 sons who have been students in the district since preschool. I started out as a volunteer on the Policy Council at Early Childhood Center. I'm in my 3rd year as a volunteer on the District Accountability Committee. I'm very active on the Parent and School Accountability Committees at my son's school, and I'm in my 3rd year of substitute teaching. For a rural district of its size, I have seen Montrose County School District do some incredible things. The district has a robust counseling support system, especially at the high school level. The Pride of Montrose Band program, 14 years ago compared to now, is unbelievable. They have placed 4th and 6th in the state in the last 2 years. The district has added really innovative programs such as the outdoor education available at Outer Range, the TLA model at Johnson Elementary, and the district-wide safety teams, which are highly regarded both within the district staff and among community members and parents as well. We have a Capturing Kids' Hearts Showcase School at Pomona Elementary. The district has built and nurtured community partnerships with law enforcement through the Career Pathways partnership with Colorado Mesa University. Communication has been streamlined this year with the use of the Talking Points app. I could go on all day, but I believe the greatest strength of our district really is its people. Its educators, staff, and our students and their families. Over the past 14 years, I have spent many hours in classrooms and countless hours in conversation with students, families, and community members. I know our district is full of passionate, compassionate, brilliant educators. They are enthusiastic, they are invested, and they are ethical. I know our families are resilient and hardworking, and they want the very best for their children, just like we all do. That's why we're here. I've seen the cultures in our schools improve in a significant way, and that is because of the partnership between teachers and educators, administrators, families, all working together in partnership. No district is infallible, and Montrose County School District has plenty of opportunity for growth. One opportunity I see being very important is the continued improvement of transparent communication and collaboration at all levels. From the board, from the superintendent, from administrators, all the way down, and then from parents and families and students communicating also up the chain. I would also like to see the district continue to improve standardized test scores, possibly through looking at the uniformity with which the curriculum is implemented, and ensuring that professional development is robust and enough for staff to be able to do their jobs to the best of their abilities. I would also like to see a comprehensive needs assessment of all of our families be completed, because parents cannot support students, students cannot achieve at their highest level if their very basic needs are not being met. I would also advocate for the adding of more fairly paid paraprofessionals to support higher needs students so educators can keep their focus in the classroom on teaching. I would also like to see more intentional support of our high school students by identifying their future goals very early on and helping them check the necessary boxes to achieve those goals. I could tell you more about how my professional experience has given me the gifts of listening, collaborating, creativity, confronting tough feedback and discussions, and problem solving under pressure. But I think the biggest benefit to electing me to the school board is that I'm passionate about educating, about public education, and more importantly, I'm passionate about and engaged in this school district. I will keep absolute focus on our students and what is best for them, without personal beliefs or politics clouding my focus. I look forward to working as a team with the rest of the board to make evidence-based, fiscally responsible decisions that will set our students up for success, whether they choose to seek higher education, learn a trade, or enter the military or the workforce. Thank you again for your time, and thank you for your vote.
Did you save the best for last? The joke from last night. Everybody, thanks for coming out and hearing me speak, and thank you to my fellow candidates for opening for me. I appreciate that. My name is Shane Daly. I'm running for District G. You can see my name, and it's pronounced Daly. It's not Daly, like John Daly, but without the alcoholism and golf ability. I've been in Montrose for about 30 years, and I have 5 kids, ranging from 11 months old to 20 years old. In my time here as an adult, I've had a lot of cool opportunities to work with kids. I help with Sunday school at church with middle school boys. You guys had nicer words to say than I do about your boys. I've contracted with the state to work with as a youth advocate for troubled teens. And my wife and I, we did foster care for many years, and we adopted 3 of our kids through foster care. So to say that kids are important to me would be an understatement. They're all going to grow up, they're all going to be adults, and we're raising the next generation. We're not raising kids. We're raising our future leaders, we're raising our future employers.